reflection night stand. It's another dismal 2-2 draw. Where do I start? Shocking first couple of minutes of the game. Some people saying it wasn't a free kick for Burnley, but whether it was or it wasn't, we needed to stay focused. It's the first 2 minutes of the game. We know Burnley got big units at the back. They're big, they're strong, they're powerful. What do? We switch off and we go 1-0 down almost instantly. From then, we try and force the issue. We're trying to play. We're trying to get on the ball, and we struggled to break Burnley down. They were big, they were strong. They sat back behind the ball. Sean Dyche had them well drilled, and we know that's what was going to happen. Our players, Rashford was reluctant to go at his full-back, and yes, he's been in bad form and you don't want to jump on his back, but those were just some of the problems that I was seeing. There were some good moments from Luke Shaw in the first half. He was trying to force his way down that left-hand side. He had a good strike on the ball. He's trying to put some good, dangerous crosses into the box, and they wasn't met. They wasn't met with anyone. We conceded another free kick. I think it was Ashley Young who gave it away. What can you say about the free kick? It was an absolute peach of a free kick, and we find ourselves 2-0 down at half-time. Really, really, really demotivating. I mean, I'm struggling to understand why we can't break teams down. You know, at the start of the season, we were breaking teams down, we were dynamic, we were pulling teams apart. And yes, it was against lesser sides, I get it. And it seems like we've been found out at the minute. You know, we come out second half though, Jose rings in the changes. In that first half, for me, Zlatan was really, really awful. He's slow on the ball, he was almost had a bit of arrogance about him, but not that positive Zlatan arrogance we liked, almost the arrogance that I can kind of just drop deep, play the pass, play a bit laxy-daisy and just took the pace right out of the team. And I think it was justified Jose making those changes at half-time. I was surprised he brought Mkhitaryan on though, if I'm honest. But he needed to make those changes, and to put Matic back into centre half was the right move for me. You know, he's going to be comfortable there against Burnley. He wasn't going to come at us that second half, and that paid dividends. And we got at them. We pressed, and you know how we didn't score earlier, I don't know. I think it was Jesse Lingard. I couldn't see from where I was. I think it was Jesse Lingard who keeper tipped it onto the bar, and it looked like the ball just rolled on top of the bar. And you're thinking, you know, is this going to be our day? But he keeps going, and he scores a great little back heel, and we're back in the game. And you saw the players running back to the halfway line, encouraging the fans to get behind the team. And we push again, and we get that equaliser. We get the equaliser, but that salvaged something out of today. But it doesn't hide the paper over the cracks. It's a really, really poor result at home to Burnley, especially after the poor draw against Leicester a few days ago. It just sums up our season so far, that we're playing well in patches, and we're not seeing the game out, or we're not capitalising in them positive moments. And at the back, like I said to some fans in the fan cams, you can say what we want about Mourinho not playing the brand of football that we want, and he might be negative, but we're starting to leak goals. We're starting to leak goals that we never used to leak, and we're starting to concede more goals, and that's not something you associate with Jose Mourinho's sides. You know, he's usually got sides that are such strong, solid at the back. They don't concede many goals, and one goal is usually enough to see the game out and win it. And that's not happening with us at the minute. It's not, and it's a big downer if I'm honest, because it seems like from here on out we were playing for nothing in the Premier League. Now, yes, we obviously want top four, and I asked some fans today, we're looking at finishing second, but I think we need to be looking at closer to fourth. You know, we need to look at it and think, are we in the top four scrap now? Because these teams are gaining on us, and we've dropped more points today, and we've got more difficult games to come. You know, we've got Everton New Year's Day, we've got Southampton coming up here next. Yes, they're short on confidence, and you expect us to beat them, but there's some tough away games coming up, and if we don't pick it up soon, we're going to find ourselves in a real dogfight for fourth. And you know, we want to try and get something out of this season. We know the league's gone, but it's just disappointing to see performances like this, to see us switch off at the back. You know, if I'm trying to draw any positives today, it's the fact that, of course, we've gone 2-0 down, and come back into the game and managed to show some good fighting spirit and get it to 2-2. Yes, on another day we might have got a winner, we might have scored more. Yes, but you know, that's the only positive I can take out of it. It was good to see Luke Shaw picked again. I thought he was quite positive, to be honest with you. There was a couple of times defensively where he didn't do the best. There was times where he could have just put it into touch, and he tried to bring it down, and his touch has been bad, and it's brought the ball into dangerous areas. But I think the more and more he plays, I think the more he comes into his own. Jesse Lingard, he's the first to get a lot of stick. You know, I've criticised him at times, saying he's not the cream of the crop, he's not good enough. But a fan said today, he's the only one showing a bit of heart at the minute. He's the only one showing some fight, and I've been really impressed with him in recent weeks. Against Leicester, he should have scored. And you have to say, him being on the bench today wasn't justified. He's come off the bench, scored 2 goals, and he was a threat the whole game. Mkhitaryan off the bench, I don't think he was horrendous, if I'm honest with you. I think he tried to play. Yes, he gave the ball away a couple of times, but so did a lot of other players today. Was it a Manchester United career salvageable performance from Mkhitaryan? No. Did he light it up? No. But he wasn't awful. I think what he did do is realise that Ashley Young was the threat down that side, and just made sure he kept giving it to him. Because we know what Ashley Young's like with his crossing, and he was dangerous all game with it. So overall, a really poor result. The performance was poor. You have to say it was poor, because we allowed them to come on to us, and we allowed them to get 2 goals up, and we didn't have a response. We just didn't have a response. So we go on to the next game. We have Southampton here in a few days. I'd like to say we'd win that comfortably, but the way we're playing, our performances are so inconsistent. You don't know what kind of performance we're going to get in a minute. But we go on to that, and we just try and build some momentum going out of this Christmas period into the new year, and hopefully get some more points on the board before we get into a really bad position. Thanks for watching, guys.